Hi, tarot friends. I'm here with a different kind of reading from what I usually do. I'm just going to give one message, and it is a collective message, so it is going to be as general as possible. And based on my intuition, I grabbed these three, well, I didn't grab, I selected, calmly, gently selected, these three stones, these crystals here, which I think are part of the message. So we have the chrysoprase, we have the unakite, I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, and we have a banded agate. So when I looked up the healing properties of these three types of crystals, I thought it was really interesting. Chrysoprase is very gentle and loving, and it's good for healing the inner child, releasing emotions that have been locked away since childhood, transmuting negative emotions, helping one to overcome impulsive, angry thoughts. So a very calming, tranquil energy there. For this unakite, it's called sort of the carpe diem stone. Very good for being in the here and now. If you've been stuck, if you've been feeling kind of jaded or, just sort of cynical, this will help you really believe in the magic and in the beauty of life, and just helping to get energy flowing again through your imagination and just your sense of wonder and your sense of gratitude and appreciation for life. So there's unakite there. And I also decided to select this banded agate crystal. I hope I'm saying that correctly, but agate. It's just gorgeous. It's beautiful. Also very earthy with these colors, like very grounded. I like that the striations show uniqueness, like how we have our own unique fingerprints, but I also like that the colors show that we are connected to the earth, we are connected to the source. We never lose touch with that, we never lose that connection. We are never separated, we are never alone and isolated, we are always in connection to source. Let's see, what else? Yeah, this is associated with calm, good luck, and wealth, so I think even matters, practical matters, material matters, are helped by this one. Thinking about how can we really solve our problems in the in our day-to-day. How can we address problems? How can we get to the root of the issue and not just treat the symptoms, but really solve what is going on, right? What is the challenge? So these are the three. If these resonate with you, then stick around. Perhaps this is a message for you in particular, but I am going to make this message as general as possible because I just feel like there is a lot of stuck energy, or even just, I don't want to say negative, but just weird energy around collectively. And I think that asking for advice, asking for insight is in order right now. I'm also excited to use a few new oracle cards and decks, so that will be really interesting today. So let's get started. Pardon me if this is this has weird pauses and stuff. I'm going to try not to touch my phone as much as possible while I do the reading and just focus on this message. So yeah, let's get started. Today I have the Visionary I Ching Oracle, as well as the Iris Oracle deck, as well as the Modern Nirvana Oracle deck, and a bunch of others. So we'll see. We'll see what comes through. What is the collective message for this moment? What is the collective message for today? Feel free to skip ahead to the timestamp for the message itself. I'm just going to shuffle some preliminary cards to get started. Collective message, please. What is the advice for the collective regarding the situation, the energies currently affecting us? I feel like this wants to come out. I'm going to leave this here. Okay. And one from here, please. Okay, I want to make sure I have all the cards on the table visible. I think this will do as a start. Okay. We have difficulty at the beginning. Hexagram 3. Water above, thunder below. We have the Chariot. We have Judgment. Body. This is the Iris Oracle deck, number 56. Liberation. Going in a counterclockwise direction here. Seven of Swords. And the High Priestess. Wow. Okay. Definitely feeling strong forces here. I'm going to pause and reflect, and then I'll continue with the message. Okay. This is so incredible what this message is coming through so far, and just how intense it is. So I feel the need to really read from these guidebooks, because I just think hearing these words is important right now. So let's start with difficulty at the beginning. We have water above, thunder below. The birth of a new venture or relationship is an entry into the unknown. New things seem to be rushing upon you, and confusion can easily take over. However, chaos is a powerful force when you harness it properly. So don't rush things now. Do not let events overwhelm you. As you take the first step, stay calm and ready to persevere. Ask for guidance and support. Then we have the Chariot here, and those of you who read tarot are familiar with the Chariot card. So I'm not going to go into that too deeply just yet. I'm going to read the Judgment card here. You are being released from your current responsibilities. Judgment represents completion and karmic return. All that you have been persistently applying yourself toward is now being wrapped up. Let go of stresses and time constraints, as you have already done everything to your ability. Now your hard work is rewarded. On the other hand, if you have been spending this time avoiding the effort, well, we all know how karma works, right? So I think that's interesting, because we've got difficulty at the beginning, we've got a new beginning, but we've also got something wrapping up, something finishing up. And I think it is the difficulty of being at this point where you have a new beginning and we also have something ending that is creating some of the difficulty, the challenge right now. And the Chariot is about balancing opposing forces. So, it's interesting. I asked someone the other day, what would happen if you push the accelerator and the brake, the brake pedal on your car at the same time? And the response was your car would probably spin out. So that is interesting. We have now Body from the Iris Oracle deck. And I won't read the whole thing. I'll just read something I find really interesting here. I mean, I find it all interesting, but I'll just try to make this as brief as possible. Whether we like it or not, gravity still keeps our feet on the earth in our fragile bodies. Injuries, sickness, our bodies are not as resilient as our spirits. We are born with instinctive fear to protect our bodies, to keep us alive, and the information we receive elevates that fear. Then, in addition to our fear, we are taught to hate our bodies and the bodies of other people. Being a creation is a dichotomy in which we find ourselves, who we feel in our inner selves and our physical body, which we may disconnect from, or whether aware or not, do not believe it even belongs to us. This is my body. It is the house to my sacred spirit, my ultimate power, and this body is going to get me where I need to be to shower the world with my vision and my abundance of love. So the body should be honored, even in the face of those trying to disrespect it and take ownership over it. This body is mine and only mine. This body is strong. This body is mine. Such a beautiful message there. Finally, I'm going to read Liberation. I will also read about the High Priestess because I love the artist for this deck and I want to share their take on it. Sorry if this is boring to anybody, but you can always skip ahead. Liberation. By liberation of the self through love, we will develop love. This is a quote from Gautama Buddha, from the Buddha. By liberation of the self through love, we will develop love. Before we can achieve liberation, we must look at what is currently keeping us from ultimate freedom. What layers of expectation are we confined to? If you had complete liberation right now, would that even be something that you would be willing to accept? This card is a gentle nudge to take a step into the unknown, away from what feels comfortable, and pivot from your usual choices so you can get closer to freedom. Remember that you, in fact, are already liberated, but it is the human conditioning that we use as our blueprint that hides how truly free we already are. I mean, wow, right? So beautiful, and such a beautiful card. We see the bird, in ancient Egyptian art. It's a crane. It's an egret, right? It's the ibis. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. We see it coming out of this vessel, this pottery, this jug, right, which is the confinement of physical reality. But liberation is the deeper truth, which is your soul is a bird. Your soul has wings. Your soul can soar. The mantra for this card is, "It is my right to be liberated from that which limits my mind. I believe in my inherent freedom and leave all limitations behind." How freaking cool. I'm sorry. sorry to curse like that. I think that is so cool. Okay, I'm going to go to the High Priestess now. And then we can really get into it and I can really start channeling here. But I just think this moment calls for a little bit of this sort of focused study and really appreciating also the artwork and how the artists of these tarot cards, the writers, the creators of these tarot cards really put so much of themselves into it. And I just really appreciate that depth. So now we go into the High Priestess. You are crossing a threshold of change as you seek a vision of your inner being. Work towards a deeper understanding of feminine wisdom, also known as Sophia, in order to pass through her portal, the Temple of Isis, into the realm of the unconscious, where intuition, dreams, inner vision, and imagination prevail. Search for spiritual resources, guides, and seek instruction for your spiritual practice as you move from the outer objective world into your own inner subjective world. The painting for the High Priestess in Tarot of Cosmic Consciousness depicts an open golden doorway or portal where vessels representing wisdom are viewed against a background of 7 color rays, symbolic of the visible light spectrum and 7 attributes of cosmic being. So also related to the chakras, right? On the Tree of Life diagram, she is the 13th path, crossing the abyss, the place of the dark side, repression, sorrow, and moves to Tippereth, the place of beauty, where the true self emerges. She acts as a guide, much like the writings of St. John of the Cross in the dark night of the soul, shepherding spiritual seekers across the abyss. She is the thread in the labyrinth of the subjective realm of the unknown, the subconscious, the mysterious, as one who can guide us safely through all the inexplicable and irrational experiences of life. We hear her when we pay attention in listening to our inner voice of intuition. When you get this card in a reading, it means you may meet someone who is a high priestess for you, or that you must listen to your intuitive higher self. So, here we are. We also have the 7 of Swords here, which to me often means navigating a tricky situation, sometimes having to operate in a bit of fear, paranoia, or suspicion, rather suspicion, because you are afraid that something wrong has been done. Like sometimes it means shady behavior, someone maybe stealing something from you, deceit, deception, thievery. So I just felt like these cards needed to be read in this direction. So I feel like the High Priestess is really the closing card here. So I'm getting a lot from all of this. This is such a beautiful message, just kind of all woven together. But I do feel like there is a strong central theme here, and it is about it's about what we take to be a dichotomy, the dichotomy of the world, the real world, the quote-unquote real world, the world as it is, the world of the physical reality where we are embodied, where we have physical limitations, and we have material concerns, right? So it's not just about being embodied. It's not just about having a body that has to be fed, that has to be sheltered. It's also about the instincts of being being an animal. These primitive instincts and urges that that are very useful for our survival, and that we need to be in touch with. We need to be grounded enough to understand what our urges are telling us, what our instincts are telling us. But we also have so it's a dichotomy in the sense that there is the body and there is the soul, or there is the body and there is the mind. And the mind, the higher self, or what we can consider the soul, the realm of spirit, the spiritual matters. This can even be considered the higher mind, as in the principles, how we separate being a human from being animal, society, matters of society, matters of ethics and philosophy, and these are all abstract concepts that still very much determine our orientation to life. How can we have these difficult moments where we have to navigate and even traverse that, what we see as a divide here. Judgment is just like a wake-up call. It is and again, we have time, right? Time being an earthly reality. We cannot do things out of time. We cannot change what day it is. If it is Saturday, it is Saturday. If the time is 12 p.m. where we are, that's the time. This is a limitation, right, in our lives. So how do we deal with that big and all-encompassing dichotomy? The Chariot, opposing forces, trying to wrangle in these forces and get forward movement, trying to progress, trying to reach victory, being on the path to victory, precisely because you have been able to figure that out, because you have stamina and grace and finesse and agility, strength. So the Chariot, when I think about the athleticism in this card, it's about, something that is an amazing feat. But it's an amazing feat because it's just rare. It's unusual. We have star athletes that we are so in awe of because they have achieved an amazing feat with their bodies and also with their mind, that concentration, that discipline. But it also shows what our normal day-to-day lives are, if that is the contrast, right? So often in our lives we feel like we are not succeeding. We feel like we are only in the sidelines. We feel like we are the ones just watching the parade go by, seeing someone else move towards victory, whereas we are here on the sidelines either cheering them on or just in general not being a participant, just being a bystander. So wow, so much here. And so I think collectively what this message is about is that our guides, the creator, the source, spirit, however you like to use that term, our guides are showing us that we must take a look at what we perceive as our limitations. And we must be willing to behave, to change our behavior, to act upon what we learn here. And I say that because of Judgment, Chariot, and Body. The High Priestess is offering the wisdom, but if we do not take action in accordance with that wisdom, if we do not take action and act on what our intuition is telling us, then the consequence will be, I want to say they'll be severe, honestly. Difficulty at the beginning means that there is, this is like if you give birth to something and you don't, that birth process can be affected by a lot of variables that have to do with the entire pregnancy. So it's like what you will be created from this moment is very dependent on not just receiving the wisdom, not just understanding what you need to understand in this moment, but also taking the action, having the discipline needed as an individual, responding to this moment as an individual with what it is called for, responding to the moment with what is called for. So that responsibility. So it's a big responsibility. And the reason why this message is so strong and is really emphasizing that we cannot escape the reality of our bodies, we cannot escape consequences even. The reason why that is so strong is because it goes both, it is because this is where that magic is. The liberation is in realizing that the actions you take are the prayers that you are saying, the liberation is that it isn't until you really test the vessel, until you really try to push on hard reality and impact hard reality and affect hard reality, that you understand the true magic of your own mind, of your own spirit. I hope I'm not being too vague here, but please take this please receive this in however form it is called for in your own life. I'm sure it is a very general message, but I think that this moment in time is really crucial and intense, at least for some of us, for anyone who's resonating with this message. It's really difficult to make change. It's really difficult to change behaviors. Now, I just said that because I just believe that to be true. But can I question my own beliefs on that? Is it really that difficult to change your behavior? Is it? See, it's like we have to push upon these thoughts that we have that are determining how we're moving through life, how we're acting in life. What are those thoughts for you? What are those thoughts that are actually mental limitations and prisons? The thing about judgment is that we have these moments of, we have these wake-up calls. We have these moments where everything is laid out and everything we've done up to that point is out in the open, you know? If you've been hiding something away, it is revealed. And not only is it revealed, but your own behaviors, your own attitudes towards it are revealed. I'm going to pull some more cards and see. I'm going to pull some tarot cards to see the response. What is the response to what I've just said? What is the advice in response? What is further guidance? We have the Ten of Cups here. Let me actually move this up so that we can all see each card individually. Okay, I got the Ten of Cups there. Beautiful card of fulfillment and joy. The Hanged Man, and the Four of Pentacles. So there is definitely a message. You know what the clarification here with the Ten of Cups, the Hanged Man, and the Four of Pentacles is that we are, you know, we might be stuck in a limbo here. We might be holding off on our own happiness, our own fulfillment in the here and now, precisely because we are seeing it from a narrow mindset, the narrow confines of what we are fixated on. So there's a fixation here that is keeping us back from the Ten of Cups. And the Ten of Cups, you know, the message of the Ten of Cups is the message overall is that there is no time that, you know, there is no better time to appreciate what is beautiful in your life. That moment is always in the here and now. And the Ten of Cups is about an eternal moment of peace and joy and love. The Ten of Cups is about ultimate fulfillment and how, whenever, you know, all of life, all of creation is all cups being full. With the Seven of Swords, how are we letting our limitations steal away this joy that is in each moment? How are we letting thoughts and feelings that keep us sort of trapped in a limited mindset? How are they draining the cups, you know, because the cups are eternally being filled by life, filled by creation, filled by the source, filled by creator. Can we clarify the Judgment card, please? Can we clarify the Judgment card? Five of Swords. Okay. Seven of Wands. Yeah, so I think that with the Seven of Wands and the Five of Swords, there's a lot of fear about being scrutinized and being judged. There's a lot of fear about, you know, it's almost like not wanting to turn your back, right? Because you don't want to expose your back, not wanting to be vulnerable. And you know, when you relate that to the Four of Pentacles and the Hanged Man, this hangman situation is looking like a comfort zone. It's looking like a place where you stick around and you stay in a rut because you don't want to be vulnerable. You don't want to, you know, throw your hat in the ring. You don't want to be a competitor because you're afraid of the failure or the rejection or even just being the lack of approval for even trying. I'm drawn to the body. I'm drawn to how the body and the Five of Swords here is looking very similar in the colors and in the textures. And then I'm drawn to how the Ten of Cups and the Seven of Wands is looking. So the Seven of Wands is, you know, it can be the way that we push back against others, how we, you know, it's the hill we want to die on, but it can also be how we will not give up, how we will continue fighting. And so I think that there is a message here definitely about not giving up until you get to Ten of Cups. So this is a bit of a paradox, right? The Ten of Cups is in the here and now. The Ten of Cups doesn't go anywhere. You don't need to feel insecure and inadequate because you feel like your cups are empty. The cups are always full is a message here with the Ten of Cups. All you have to do is reach that place in your spirit, in the here and now. You know, it transcend, right? Hanged Man, transcending the limitations of earthly reality to reach this Ten of Cups. And the Seven of Wands is about not giving up, not, you know, fighting for this. So I do think that the Chariot, the Seven of Wands, and the Ten of Cups, and the Judgment, it is about a battle. It's about a battle to, you know, for your own, it's about a battle to not give up on that which you know with your intuition, you know is your happy place. You know, the Ten of Cups, this is your happy place. Don't give up on the happy place. Don't let your perception of pain, don't let what you perceive to be a painful or sorrowful reality, or a reality that will never be escaped, will never be, you know, a prison, right? Don't let your perception of an imprisoned reality, of a sense of being stuck, a sense of being, you know, trapped. Don't let that defeat you. Like, keep fighting for this Ten of Cups. Keep fighting for this beautiful moment of liberation, because not only is it always in the here and now, in the deeper reality of the here and now, of the eternal moment of the spirit. Not only is it always there and always accessible to you, but it, you know, it's calling for you. It is the ultimate end game. it's where all roads lead to. And I love how this card shows the warm color of this orange, reddish orange, and then the cool color of this blue vessel, which is what we see here, right? So let me show that, how that resonates. We've got orange, or, you know, fiery orange colors. We've got blue, cool colors, and now we have the combo of the two. So your guides, our guides, are calling for us to be, to not give up on the liberation of our soul, to not give up on, you know, the bliss, the joy, the happiness of that we can experience on earth, that we can experience with life on earth. With the Judgment card, you know, we are experiencing and receiving a lot of information about this battle. With the Seven of Swords, you know, I would say that it's like being in the labyrinth, and the thread that we are following, the High Priestess, you know, offering that thread that helps us get through the labyrinth, that's what we need to focus on now. Now imagine going through the labyrinth and then coming out the other side, and it's like you realize you come out the mountain. You know, you've been underground, you've been deep in this cave system or this labyrinth, and now you're being released up to the mountain. I mean, that's the kind of liberation that is inevitable here, you know, that we can fight for. That's the kind of liberation that is our victory. If we just keep fighting, if we just keep going, if we stop being on the sidelines, if we stop, you know, if we get in our heads in the game. The Devil, the Ace of Wands, what is this now? And the Hierophant. So you see here consciousness, our own instinct, our own passion. You see it being really held back, restricted, snuffed out even by a system, a hierarchical system, a governing system, a powerful system that is greedy, that does not have our best intention, that does not respect us, that does not want us to survive or thrive. The devil, this is you know, this is about being stuck and locked into a set of rules, a hierarchy here, a set of system of rules. I mean, it could even be a patriarchy. And when I read about this body, you know, it's definitely made me think about the anger that many of us feel that our bodies are not respected, you know. So there is a lot worth fighting for here. There is definitely a lot worth fighting for, and that cannot be fought at the same level, at the low level that we're being pulled into. The High Priestess is about the intuition and the divine guidance that comes to us through our own inner being, not through these not just conventional wisdom, but even just the lies, not through the lies that we are being manipulated to believe. The Ace of Wands, this is the truth. So it's like we know the truth because the truth is consciousness and light. We know what is true because it dares to light to shed light on lies, on deceits. So you cannot both lie and tell the truth at the same time. That is those are, that's a polarity there. You cannot, at some point we've got to differentiate between lies and the truth, and stop confusing that with some kind of, this Hierophant could be like some expert spewing big words and trying to confuse or manipulate the truth by sounding important, sounding pompous, important, sounding like they know what they know. And it's like, this Ace of Wands, we know that's bullshit. Bullshit detector. I think a lot of that, I'm sure we can all agree that a lot of that is a big part of today's problem. Just, all of us needing our bullshit detectors way up, right? Wow. I'm feeling a bit funny because I feel like it's such a collective reading, such a general reading. I don't know who this is going to really be helpful for. I do know that a lot of these themes I've been dealing with a lot over years. But I think that the reason why it's coming up right now, like, this is not a timeless reading. This message is coming through right now because I think we need the reminder to get back into our bodies and to take power from the level of the body, from the level of mundane reality. Not to stay stuck in the comfort zone of wishful thinking here, but to get on the horse, to get, to be active, to participate, to take action, right? Forgiveness. Birds. Forgive others, not because they deserve forgiveness, but because you deserve peace. Forgiveness equals freedom and peace of mind. It comes from a place of valuing your own energy first and recognizing your own power to heal and to hurt. When you hold on to anger, resentment, sadness, and spite, it's as if you are holding on to heavy rocks. The person you feel this toward isn't also holding the rocks, only you are, but you can let go. Do your best to remember that people behave in a way that is reflective of their relationship with themselves and the experiences they have had. Forgive as much as you can, because we are all truly doing the best we can according to our level of awareness. I love, I forgive, and I release all attachment to what was so that I may fully embrace what is. Okay, so again, the concept of the present moment, the concept of the eternal, which is never never beyond our reach, okay? This is, again, we can, forgiveness is about taking a leap for ourselves, for our own liberation. Forgiving ourselves, forgiving others, and letting go of the container, see, this vessel is about how we take the shape of our thoughts and beliefs, right? Those thoughts and beliefs and feelings that are constantly in our psyche, we end up conforming to those thoughts and beliefs, and so we take the shape of those thoughts and beliefs. But this bird is transcending and escaping because it knows it's a bird. It knows it's not a jug, right? So again, like, forgiveness is giving you access to liberation, moving past the anger, the resentment, even the sadness, even the grief, letting go of it. I'm not even going to say moving past. I'm going to say just letting go of it and letting it return to source. It is no longer needed for your journey. You have done everything you could in your power to respond to what the past was at the time. But in this moment now, this is the moment that you have the capacity to move to a different reality. It's that simple. You have a different reality. You have a new reality. You have a new way of being available to you. Ace of Wands, rebirth. I even see this as, you know, an egg shell cracking open, right? And the new life is coming. So we're all getting there. We're all getting there. Judgment, you know. There is a sense of inevitability here. We cannot keep doing, if we have been harming ourselves, if we have been denying ourselves, if we have been sort of complacent and just kind of stuck in one way of thinking because it's what we know, or it's we refuse to change, like there is a sense of inevitability that change is going to come to us whether we like it or not. But the difference is that change that you co-create, the new life you co-create as a spirit, as a soul, that is liberation. Not when change comes to you and, you know, wants to control you, and you know, not when change happens in your life as a result of your lack of responsibility, or your, you know, as a response of your denial, right? When change is forced upon you because you've been denying reality, that is a very different moment of judgment than when change is coming to you because you have taken that action to move past, to let go of that which has been hurting you and holding you back. Wow. I want to stay here because I feel like there's so much that is worth meditating upon in our own lives, right? Oh, what is this? The Hangman? Yeah. Just said I want to stay here. But maybe that's my own comfort zone. Again, we have to, whatever it is for us, whatever is the thing that we've just been using to sort of cope, we have to take a hard look at it. Yeah, the Hierophant, the Knight of Swords, and the Ace of Cups. Now is the time to be very discerning about any body of knowledge, any practice, any philosophy, any tradition that we really, you know, put on a pedestal. Now is the time to be quite critical of it and to kind of take it apart a bit, deconstruct it, but for the purpose of healing, for the purpose of new energy, new way of being, a new orientation to your life, and a more meaningful, more purposeful orientation to your life. There's a lot of healing that is being called for. But again, it is not the healing that is about coddling. It's not healing that just addresses the symptoms. It's the need to really heal at the root cause, the root issue, and to take a good look at how everything's been going thus far. What has been serving you? What is no longer serving you? But also serve or suffer, right? Like you cannot just... When serve or suffer comes up, it means that there are things we cannot escape, things that wishful thinking cannot escape, that we have to endure certain harsh realities and get real about those realities before we can even hope to find that solution, before we can even hope to find what is going to really help the matter. It means accepting, you know, accepting who we are at the very simplest root level. with the body. I'm going to end this here now, even though I think I'm going to be thinking about this a lot for the next few days. If this resonated with you, if you have anything to add, I would be curious if any of you have some words of wisdom, if you feel like sharing, you know, a situation in your life that you see this really applying. But I think that sometimes we need to fight, you know, we need to fight not just for ourselves, but we need to fight for just simply what is right, like what is important, not what we can rationalize as important, but what is truly important. Sometimes we need to just fight and take all those things we've been saying and wishing and dreaming of and just put that into action and let our actions speak for themselves. Again, that judgment card, letting our actions speak for themselves. Living out what we believe to be true, not just taking that at face value from the authority figures in our life, but becoming our own inner authority and really guiding ourselves to what is important and meaningful in our life. Okay, thank you all. Thank you for joining me today, and yeah, like or subscribe if this, you know, if this was helpful to you. But I think even more importantly, you know, if you want to discuss something in the comments, I'll be there. I'll be reading. Okay, so see you next time. Take care, all.